Listen, people keep texting me. People keep coming up to me on the streets. They stop me and they go, Joe, the season finale, Safe Space, is that going to be it? Is that going to be the last fucking Safe Space episode of all time? They ask me. They go, Joe, you haven't signed a contract extension with the Rivalry Recap show, Joe. There's rumors you haven't fucking talked to the commissioner in months. In months, they say. What's gonna happen if we have no Safe Space? Talk to my fucking agent, I say. Talk to my fucking agent. I got a season finale to film. And then I have a playoffs to focus on. But gentlemen, while we're here, let me say, it is a pleasure to welcome you to the Season 4 Safe Space season finale. We've laughed, we've cried. I haven't fucking made the clips of our video highlights for this year. So that's that. But let's get right into it, because I got a lot of fucking stuff I need to say after reading some of your responses. Welcome back to Safe Space. Let's get to the segments. So I like to start each season finale as kind of like a look backwards. We have those competing for the championship. We have those delusionally thinking they're competing for the championship. And we have those whose season didn't break their way. But all inclusively, how have you thought your season has gone? And I ranked these responses by the lowest seed to the highest seed. So we'll start off with Mr. Kevin Lamb. For the last time in this program, I will refer to him as the defending champion. Kevin said he's disappointing in himself. As disappointed as Ian's parents are to Kevin. Now, on this program, Kevin's been voted worst team many times, many weeks. And I've given him a pass. I've said that injuries are there. He's not getting the lineup. I think what this season has cemented is that Kevin's championship season was a fluke. Prior to the championship season, Kevin was never a competitor in the Gentlemen's Club. He finished last the season before that. He got lucky. I won't take this away from Kevin. He had one of the best drafts of all time. It's as simple as that. Cup, Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, all first round picks. But it was an anomaly. As I've said many times on this program, even a blind squirrel can find a nut. Kevin, if you want my respect, do it again. This season wasn't it for you. Matthew Lynch says his season was over before he even sat down to draft at Sklar's. Numerous keg beers. Remember the fucking bees at fucking Spencer's house? The bees? Numerous keg beers already consumed before I made my first pick. Stacked 2 Broncos at one point. And then it was curtains. Lynch, I'm not sure if it was the Russell Wilson pick, nor the Jerry Jeudy pick that killed you. I think looking back at your season, I think when you made the Cooper Kupp trade that defined your season, and I think looking back on that, did you get the best return you could have? Charlie Carita. Lots of promises, somewhat squandered by a level of overthinking not seen since any given Ian Jones Friday night. Charlie, I think you might have had the worst trades, consecutive trades, one of the worst in the history of the Gentlemen's Club. We hated your draft. I hated your draft. You owe me $100. But you drafted some good players out of that, and there was a point in the season after you picked up Fields that we all thought, fuck, Charlie might have a good team. And then you made these trades, you were chasing these big names, you brought in Mixon, Mike Williams. Granted, you didn't have injury luck. You had injury misfortune, and you can't predict that, but didn't work out for you, Chuck. You're out of the playoffs. Tony Marullo, who I eliminated from the playoffs this past week, It's like a girl at the bar that you think is out of your league. You're buying your drinks all night with a slight hope it might get you somewhere, but you and everyone knows at the bar that it's not going to end your way. Yeah, Tony, I would give you credit because you said at the beginning of the season your team sucked. You made that trade with Marsh. It gave you some spark, and ever since then you're battling. But at the end of the day that Jerick McKinnon fumbled to win you the game then lose you the game was the day that your playoff hopes were squandered. Mr. John Sedano. Mr. John Sedano says a nightmare. That's how he describes the season. However, my nightmare is a dream come true for half this league. That's a gut punch. Michael Weston calls it a tumultuous tale of trials, tribulations, and hopefully triumph. Lots of T's there, Michael. I suppose lots of T's are better than lots of L's. Michael Weston, our current 8 seed, can he hold on? His team is just full of mids. No go-off guys, just a bunch of mids. Sometimes that's all you need to be average. Eric Olson. Happy to say it's good enough for me to comment on it in my own playoff video. What a fucking douchebag Eric is. You can't even fucking respond to the Safe Space Bowl. You're acting like it's good. Eric, you're gonna go fucking 7-7, buddy, and you think it's fucking good enough to comment on your whole video? Or are you gonna fucking say, oh, I'm Eric Olson, my shirt's off, I'm wearing a backwards hat, I'm drinking milk out of a Stella Artois glass? You think you're fucking hot shit, bro? Because you're fucking 7-7 or at best 8-6? Get the fuck out of my face, Eric. All you did this season is draft Jalen Hurts, which happened to be a slightly good draft pick. He's a slightly good quarterback. He's very good, whatever. But besides that, fucking you trade fucking for Kenny Pickens, whatever the fucking name is, the receiver in the fucking Steelers. You trade fucking AJ Brown for ETN. What the fuck's AJ Dillon doing on your bench? You make bad decision after bad decision. How'd fucking Paris Campbell work out for you, douchebag? Get the fuck out of my face. What the fuck are you gonna say in your fucking playoff video? You should shut the fuck up and move on to the next video because you've done nothing to deserve that playoff video this year. James Ortiz. Productive yet disappointing regular season for the Latins. A lot left to be desired. This is disgusting that James Ortiz, I'm a little drunk unless no one's picked that up, but that's how this episode's going to go. It's going to go like that. Okay? James Ortiz, you can't say a lot left to be desired because you fucking left it to be desired by your lack of ability to do anything. You're incompetent, James. You're fucking incompetent. Christian Borelli, par for the course if Cuff comes back, and then he did the fucking emoji eyes. I think that's fair. Christian is one of the few that I like and respect in this league year in, year out. I think he has a good draft. I think he makes good trades. And he puts himself in a position to compete in the playoffs. And this year, with or without Cooper Kupp, he will be a force. Brian, the rivalry capstone, Marsh. Been an absolute roller coaster with ups and downs. Seems to be settling down with Jamar back. Been a lot of fun being competitive, and I look forward to the playoffs. Marsh, a couple weeks ago, I gave you a lot of shit. I said, Brian, are you really going to go 7-7? Are you really not going to fucking make the playoffs after this roster that you've drafted this year? And Marsh was able to weather the Jamar Chase injury storm. He was able to come back, and the last 2 weeks have been really good. I would like to be the first person to congratulate Marsh on beating the Brian Marsh 7-7 line and going above 500. Let's clap it up. Brian Marsh above 500, first time in 5 years. Brian, congratulations. I think you're going to be a force in playoffs. Your team's awesome. Looking forward to the playoff video, Brian. Lastly, the current 2 seed, Spencer Sklar. A year full of doubters, including our vengeful safe space host. But I keep stacking wins. Show up or I'll put you to sleep. You know this fucking response by fucking Spencer tells me? Spencer Sklar is a guy that was born on third base and thinks he fucking hit a triple. He thinks his team is fucking good. He thinks he can beat you. He thinks he deserves a 2 seed. And that's pathetic. That's arrogant. That's disgusting, Spencer. You are just that smug face of yours deserves a cold slap of reality. I hope by some miracle I could pick you in the first round. If not, I am envious of a person that can give you that cold slap of reality. And lastly, I want to see myself, Joe, what do you think about your fucking season? Listen, I told you boys at the beginning of the season in my pre-draft video. This season was about my opportunity to bounce back. I did what I wanted to accomplish so far. I'm the 1 seed once again, but for me, none of this was about the regular season. It's about what I do in the playoffs. The real season's about to begin. So in my mind, it's a trick question because the real season hasn't started. That was segment 1. I was a little meaner than I expected, so I apologize to James Ortiz, Kevin Lamb, and others I might have offended, but listen, might be the last Safe Space episode of all time. I gotta get it out. Next segment. In life, there are 2 types of people. There are people that make mistakes and continue to make mistakes, and there are people that make mistakes and learn from them. And the latter group are those that are able to climb the ladder and succeed in life, while the others stay wrestling in the mud. If you made a mistake this year, what did you learn from it? What did you learn this year in Gentlemen's Cup football? Lots of responses. I learned that Ian Jones is trying to move Stephon Diggs for a top-level running back. He ended up moving him for CeeDee Lamb and a running back that's a healthy scratch, James Robinson. He hasn't played once. Do you want me to say the obvious? Joe, should you say the obvious? Let's say the obvious. Ian Jones is a moron. The guy fucking can't make a trade to save his life. The guy can't draft a team to save his life. Sure, he won the league. Look at what he's done every other fucking season. J-O-K-E. Joke. I didn't think I'd be this mean already. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. I learned that James Ortiz is still a moron and likely ruins the season by a lack of trades. I touched on this already. I've touched on this throughout the program. I've touched on this on the years of Safe Space. Which just means whoever submitted this isn't listening. Because if you just learned that this year, you don't know James Ortiz. You had hoped that James Ortiz would make trades. Listen, James, I'll give him this. He'll engrave his own casket because he's going to bury himself. You can't go to James and say, hey, do you want to make a deal? Because he wrote his own will. What's the fucking saying I'm thinking of? I can't think of it. I learned that it's way more beneficial to invest your time during the season rather than be focused on the draft so much. Obviously, having good draft helped, but compared to the ones that I've had a ton of research for in the prior years, I kind of winged this year's draft and had the best one I've ever had. Also, when someone offers you a start earlier in the season, take it. Can't even count how many trades I've declined in the first few weeks in past years that I regret. Breaking news. You should fucking pay attention to your fantasy team mid-season. Some of you guys, man. I learned that Joe is the closest thing we have to used car salesman in the Gentlemen's Club. Okay. I mean, if you guys want to do the fucking, oh, Joe tries to rip you off. That's fine. That's a narrative you want to fucking craft to make you fucking feel better when you tuck yourself in Midtown every night and go to bed with your little new girlfriend. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But the fact of the matter is, every time I make a trade, nobody says shit. This year, earlier in the season, I traded A.J. Dillon, Jared McKinnon for Tony Pollard. Nobody said shit. Oh, Joe's just trading a couple backup running back for a backup running back. Now it turns out great. My favorite is like, oh, Joe ripped grass off. Secondly, Joe trades fucking Joe Burrow and Curtis Samuel for Patrick Mahomes. Marsh on his fucking program, I remember watching him. He goes, I don't know why Joe made this fucking trade. He just gives up a starting receiver for what? A marginal better quarterback? Well, I guess he gets the fucking stack between Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Oh, guess what, Marsh? The stack between Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce is really fucking good. Oh, and then we look back on it. Oh, Joe ripped off Lynch. And then I make a fucking trade for what? A.J. Dillon for Christian Watson? Or not A.J. Dillon. Michael Carter. For fucking Christian Watson. What we're going to do? Oh, Joe fucking used car salesman. Why don't you just get better? Or you get better? I shouldn't have done this drunk. I shouldn't have. Rask makes trades just to make trades. So many insignificant ones that slowly demolishes one's great team. I think John has a problem. He just likes the attention. I mean, if you want me to be honest, when you make a trade, you get a little rush. Right? Right? Reminds you of freshman year of college. You show up to Craig's basement, see a girl, start dancing with her. What fucking... Some fucking Lil Wayne song comes on, spinning around, lips lock. That rush. That's a similar rush to making a trade. But just because the lips were available to kiss doesn't mean you should have. I learned that the league may need to file a missing persons report for the commissioner, Ian Jones. Got nothing to say. I learned that all you gotta do is win the matchup in front of you. That comes from Spencer. John Rask is a charity case. And if you can make a trade with him, you should do it. I thought John's trade with fucking Marula is paying off for him. Lamar sucks and got hurt. Goddard sure didn't make sense, but I guess Josh Jacobs has been going off. But T. Higgins has also been good. I don't know. I give Rask shit, but I don't think he should be like, oh, Rask is a fucking trade idiot of the league, because at least he's trying things. A lot of you guys don't even try things. John Rask is the one I just read. There should be a level of respect when indulging in trade talks. Okay? Listen, if you're asking for respect, you probably don't deserve respect. Joe will go to the ends earth for a trade. I enjoy the hustle. I know that James Ortiz fucking submitted this one. I didn't engage in one trade talk with James Ortiz all year, because I know that's not what he does. So, James, I'm not sure what intel you're getting there, but if you enjoy my hustle, sure. There are people in this league who simply care more, and it shows. Damn right. Top tier QBs can win you games and are worth picking earlier. I agree with this. This was one of my findings this year. I think in past Gentlemen's Club years, you've been able to pick up a QB that would get you 20 points that have been comparable, that you could play like a matchup, for example. Where this year, for whatever trends in the NFL, it seems like having an elite quarterback in fantasy actually served as a statistical advantage, because those middle tier QBs or those QBs that happen to be available on the waiver wire weren't able to consistently put up that 20 points. That would be like sporadically more 15 points, 10 points, 5 points, and really duds that lose you games. So, trends. Remember a couple years ago when the first 5 picks in the draft were like all receivers? Now I think forward years we might see quarterbacks go a lot higher, because I do think it's truly an advantage to have a quarterback, an elite quarterback. Nothing surprises me this year with league members, okay? Making trades seem to be more common than ever this year. I've been closed-minded in the past, but this year has opened my eyes to the benefits of trading. This comes from John Sedano. John, I'm glad your closed-mindedness finally opened. Now let me introduce you to universal healthcare, and we can really get going. If you get just the right amount of Miller Lights and Charlie, I learned that you could convince him of just about anything. Next one. Everyone loves Deion Sanders. Prime time. Lastly, I learned nothing. Ortiz has the yips, Tony's is a fringe guy, and Ian is too deep in his own head. Nothing new. I like this one to end on because a couple years ago I introduced Safe Space in the preseason video. And I said as much things change, things tend to stay the same. And I like that recap video of Marsh did throughout the years of the Rabbit Recap show and the league, because it does seem that we're all just the fucking same, and the only thing that changes is the last decimal of the year and the players on our roster. Hopefully that means I don't lose in the first round of the playoffs. So let's get to the next segment. Dum. Dum. Harry's Golden Razor. There's something. This is actually a really nice razor. There's something going on with the group chat this year that it seemed like there was less engagement over the weekends, over the weeks, and a couple of people called out. So we did this promotion as Charlie in the Chocolate Factory and Willy Wonka did. Let's get people eating the chocolate bars. Let's offer golden tickets. Let's get people engaging the group chat. Let's offer a golden razor. So you all voted. And I think that the person that won the golden razors, deservingly so, it was a commanding 5 votes. Next person got 3 votes. And our person got 2 votes. But, you know, I don't want to take from this person's glory, so I asked them to submit a video accepting the reward, so please do so. Congrats, my good friends.
Wow, the golden razor. Gotta say, it feels pretty good. Thank you for everyone who voted for me, but you know, I don't do it for the accolades. I just do it because I love to, for the love of the game. I love chirping people. I like getting people angry, getting a rise out of people, and getting on people's last nerve. That really gets my goat. And to receive something for that, it feels good. So whether I'm chirping Joe or send you a dirty, nasty text that I get on a Saturday night, I just love what the boys got to say. And it's always something good. So I appreciate you guys. It was a lot of fun this year. Wish I could be raising some other sort of trophy. But if I can still bring something to the group, I think that's what I'm known for. Not really my fantasy football play, but more of just getting the guys going. So good luck to everyone in the playoffs. Staying out of the toilet bowl. And Godspeed for the rest of the year. Strive and prosper every day. Thank you.
Tony, thanks so much for submitting that. While I have you really quickly, Tone, I think we've gone back and forth over the years. I've made a ton of videos where I really fucking went after your category, your character. You know, I fucking pull the stats. I call you a blind squirrel. I call you Little Tony. I stomp on your neck to eliminate you from the playoffs. And I know, Tony, unfortunately, you can't get that 8 seed this year, so you're not going to be able to make a video. But it wouldn't be fair to me. It wouldn't be fair for the league to just box you out of making content, because I do think you're good at it. So, Tony, what about, you know, in regards to our relationship, in the videos I've made in the past, you want to comment on that?
Me specifically, I wanted to thank you for such a dedication to the league. I can only imagine the time that you spend making those videos. I know just in my week to week, I don't know where I'd fucking find any of that time or even care that much to dig into those stats, go back years and years. If people were requesting that from me, they'd end up on the list along with Ortiz and Weston this year. But we want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. And I wrote a little ditty expressing my thanks, my gratitude. Your videos, they're worth a high-fiving. Without you off of the Tobin Bridge, I'd be flying. If Katie's vag could talk, it'd say, Brian has me dying. You're in the playoffs. Good job, buddy. What an accomplishment. Good job. Nice.
Wow. Anthony, I gotta be honest. I wasn't expecting you to be so positive towards me, but I appreciate your kind words about the videos. It does take a lot of work. That's why, you know, that's why we're in tough negotiations with the Rivalry Cap show for my contract extension. The comment about Brian's girlfriend's vagina was a little weird. I don't really get that one, but you're a little weird kid, so we'll look past that. And, you know, thank you. I am about to embark on the playoffs, so I'm getting nervous. I got a lot of work to do. I know you're off for the next few weeks, but, you know, I'm going to focus in and get ready for the playoffs. All right, that was the Golden Razor. Let's get to the next segment. Toilet Bowl, sponsored by Harry's Exfoliating Facial Wash or Harry's Dry Skin Relief or Harry's Shave Gel. or Harry's body wash, or Harry's shampoo and conditioner. But the toilet bowl, something that I've never really had experience in, but I like to vote for it. Who are you rooting for to lose the league this year? Let's get to your submissions. A couple broad submissions. Someone new just have a new presentation. Anyone but Kevin. Since Kevin told me in week 3 that I'd rather just give the presentation again. Can't have people mailing in that early. All right, let's get to the votes. Charlie, you got 1 vote. Rooting for Charlie to lose the toilet bowl. Like to see him manage his way into it. Kevin Lamb, KL, you got 2 votes. I don't know. It's like asking who do you want to get called for jury duty next. Not sure I care, but not me though. Maybe that wasn't a vote for Kevin. But 1 definitely vote for Kevin. He deserves it. And it would be a hilarious presentation given his championship was sandwiched between 2 loser presentations. Matthew Lynch, you got 3 votes. Think he'd give a really funny presentation. Lynch or Johnny, they haven't lost before and they're both creative. Matt Lynch would be a new presentation giver and he'd be a good one. And lastly, the winner of who we want to lose and suffer and be miserable and be a fucking loser and look himself in the mirror every morning in Baltimore and say, can I make it in the big city? Can I make it at Common Ground? Am I worth that? It's Ian Jones. He's escaped it before, but I don't want it to happen again. The Soakers have been asked all season. I'd like to see his presentation. He's been teetering on the edge of the toilet seat for too long now. Time he falls in. I want Windy City Jones to lose. Would destroy him and make excellent content for the league. I look forward to the presentation. I voted for Jones. I did. And that was the deciding vote because there was 3 votes between Lynch and Jones. And the reason I vote for Jones is because it seems like when things got tough for him this season, he crumbled. He hid away. He went into his foxhole. But I noticed something in the group chat that he would just like it was Lil's helping Lil's messages. And he just likes him. And I know if I get eliminated from the playoffs, he'll fucking spark out. And fucking, oh, Joe lost. And I don't like people that root for me to fail. So Ian, I root for you to fail. I ain't got much more to say about that. Let's get to the next segment. I gotta be honest, this has been a fucking weird season finale of Safe Space. Maybe I should just cancel the show. Alright, next segment is who you're rooting for. I think I talked about earlier in the season, like first fucking few weeks of Gentlemen's Club this year, it was wide open. And besides me clinching a spot earlier in the season, I think it has stayed wide open. Like a couple weeks ago, Brian and Christian were on the fringe of the playoffs, and now you look at them this week and they're probably 2 of the favorites. John Rast a couple weeks ago was probably a favorite, and now he's 1 loss away from not making the playoffs. This whole season I was worrying, like, can Charlie sneak in, can Johnny sneak in, can Tony sneak in? None of them even made it in. It's been a really interesting year of the Gentlemen's Club. I think 6 of the 8 seeds are pretty much locked in. Who are you rooting for to win, though? A few generic answers. As the Chamber of Horrors Council, I feel incumbent upon myself to vote for the league member with the best overall horror score, who has never won the title, to be this year's champion. JK, LOL. I want Weston, Johnny, or Sklar to chaotically win with one of those piecewise function teams. Next submission is anyone that's never won before. Weston got a vote and is from himself, despite the clear rules stating you can't vote for yourself. I'm going to vote for myself. I know you said I can't, but I just don't play that way. Spencer Sklar got 2 votes. Jets fly together. Probably the worst team in the playoffs, but the 2 seed right now. No idea how it's possible, but the kid is in a groove. I mean, if you want, like, do you really want Spencer to win the fucking playoffs? Like that's pretty much just saying, like, oh yeah, let's just get whoever just gets lucky. John Rass, you got 2 votes. By process of elimination, I'm going John Rass. A couple of former champs in the playoffs makes me root against them. Squires roster doesn't deserve to win, even though I picked him in the preseason. Sorry, Joe, I can't root for you. And Ortiz winning it all would give me AIDS. I'm rooting for Rass since he has some good players from my former team, and it'll piss everyone off. I don't think it'll piss me off if Rass wins, because if Rass wins, it's likely because of the trades that he made, paying off for him, and I respect, as much as I always show on Rass, I respect him going for it. Brian Marsh, you got the most votes here, 3 votes. Brian Marsh deserves to win, and his team is fun as hell. Those receivers are scary. It has to be Marsh, it has to. The guy's so invested in this league, it would only make his investment in content better. I'd be happy for him if he can finally put it together after years of mediocrity. It would be so well deserved after the effort he puts into the league. Though he does support 2 AFC playoff teams, I'd be okay if Marsh wins. Listen, I'm looking forward to Marshall's playoff videos. I give Marshall a lot of shit, but I do genuinely appreciate the videos he puts together for the league and specifically helping me put together my videos. Saying that, the person that if I don't win the league, I'm rooting for to win the league is Christian Borelli. I make this decision pretty simply. I personally want to see the name on the trophy as someone that I feel like deserves to be on the trophy. And I think aside from me, Christian's manages team the best this year. And not only that, Christian manages his team pretty consistently every year, and he's always competitive. He has a solid draft. I think he's making a lot of good trades. And if he wins, he wins. He's a 2-time deserving champion. Saying that, I fucking deserve it more. I don't give a fuck that none of you want me to win. Last segment, let's wrap things up here, finally. The reason I started Safe Space 4 years ago is it was really just a forum to talk shit. I think over the years we've had some laughs and cries and good times and times that have bited me and others in the ass of cockiness and overconfidence and whatever you have it, but the program has evolved over the last 4 seasons, but I think at the core of it, it's really just anonymous messages to say whatever the fuck you want to your group mates. So let's end this season how we end every season, with some safe space submissions. Tell Ortiz that there's one more trick in the party bag. I want to thank Tony Boy Marullo for again giving me chase in what was probably a pretty fair trade. He elevates the Steens to maybe a championship level. Look forward to an awesome playoffs and great videos from the league. I look forward to the slander I get for my points for the playoffs approaching. I hear the chatter, but if you would have just beat me when we played, you could have buried me. But here I am ready to make some noise. Fucking Spencer. Eagles 11-1. James, congrats, man. We know their record. Don't let me in the fucking playoffs, says John Sedano. What a year, what a time to be alive. Glad to do it with you all. Let's get weird. I look forward to Matt talking about the horror scores soon. So do I. That's usually a fucking highlight of my season because I got eliminated in the playoffs early. But, oh, Joe has a great fucking regular season record. So I guess I'll still be the #1 whore, which I could fucking tell my mom about. Hi, I'm Joe. I eat big craps for breakfast. This year I asked Santa Claus for the biggest crap he's ever crapped so I can sit here and eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Fill my tummy with all the yummy crap. Pick me, you won't, Weston says. I don't know, Weston, do you actually want me to pick you? I don't know. I was actually spending some time this week thinking like, oh, if this happens, who would I pick in the playoffs? And I have no idea. I think it's gonna be a fucking crapshoot. There's no bad teams. Last submission was thank you to Joe and Marsh for the best season of content yet. I honestly think this is more of a credit to Marsh than I am. think this is pretty fair. It's pretty standard season of Safe Space, but Marsh really raised the bar, which I think raises the content across the league. So Marsh, I appreciate that. To close things out, I don't have much to say on Safe Space. I think in past years I've put a lot of effort into this last episode. But I purposely didn't do that this year because I'm locked in the playoffs. So next week at this time, you'll hear a video from me and 7 other of your league mates and what's the best damn video of the year. And I look forward to that, and I look forward to the playoffs. So gentlemen, those fighting for your week 14 playoff lives this week, good luck. Those of you already in, good luck. Let's hope for no injuries this week because that would suck. And for potentially the last time. Just kidding. I'm not fucking gonna stop Safe Space. But Godspeed. And I'll talk to y'all soon.